morning. It's day 5 on the Foothills Trail. Got Mr. Brown there. Good morning. Huh. And this is our campsite. We're sharing it with a couple 2012 through hikers. And the waterfall, an 80-foot waterfall, like right over that horizon. All right, we are starting out along the stream. Crossing another one of these suspension bridges is it's been a couple miles and we're still walking along a creek basin. And in a little bit, we'll start heading uphill steep. I would say that the 50 plus miles we've done so far has been by and large class 0 or class 1 rockiness. Little class 2, not any at all class 3 or above. That said, there have been some very steep ups and downs with steps and things like that. We're crossing a landslide here. Good morning, it is day 6 and we are coming back from Brevard. Had a great day in town with some good friends. Stayed in a hotel, had a good shower, and it rained hard last night, so it was perfect. And off we go, heading towards the highest point in South Carolina. Steep going up off the bat. Climbing, climbing, climbing. We got about a total of 1,000 feet up to the highest point in South Carolina. The azaleas are in bloom. This trail was closed less than a month ago. Oh, we got some rain. Hopefully it stays a light rain. Sassafras Mountain, highest point in South Carolina, not in North Carolina. I'm looking off to the south, so here we are in upstate South Carolina, and it really is amazing to look down from the edge from upstate to the plain in South Carolina. This is also the eastern continental divide and the southern limit of the Tennessee River watershed. Somewhere on the horizon is Mount Pisgah in this direction, Table Rock in that direction, and that in this direction we have Ravenbald in Georgia on the horizon. Let's see, now this is Ravenbald. I was showing you Whiteside now, but that's Ravenbald. We just turned off on the Ceasars Head trail, so we have left the Foothills Trail. And now we have to get used to following blue blazes. I think there's one up here. They're a little harder to see. I think we got one right here. All right. Met a couple guys back there who had hiked the up from the state park through the burned area, and they said it was just awful. That the whole area along the trail was pretty well burned out. So we'll find out if the fire made it up here to this trail. Hopefully not. This trail so far follows the state line, which is also the Continental Divide. It does not care if you need to get up a hill in an easier way. It's going to go straight up and straight down, just following the Continental Divide. I keep seeing these signs about every 100 yards or so. Doesn't seem too hospitable, city of Greenville. I don't know what you think we're going to do over there. I think when I start having to take some leaks, I might have to go on the right side of the path. All right, here we are, and
you can still smell the smoke.
Yep, this is the fire area, and there's the fire break. So it looks like they stopped it pretty darn close to the state line at the top of the ridge.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we find and how long this burned area lasts. Still smell the fire, of course. And it got to just up there a little ways where you see the green stuff. And it looks like these tall trees are going to live. And maybe some of the bushes aren't going to make it. Been a couple 100 yards, we're still in the burn zone. As I understand, there were a couple of fires, both started by, I guess, some teenagers. Just a few weeks ago. It's been half a mile. We're still in the fire zone, and it's still there's a fire break just over the hill there, and it looks like we're kind of walking on the edge of where it was controlled with the fire coming from that direction. Like at least where we are now, the majority of the live trees will be okay. I'm no expert, but there's a lot of trunks that don't look like to be seared at all on the live trees. And I think we're looking at a combination of hurricane damage and fire damage as well. Mr. Brown saw this. So there are these boundary markers, state boundary, that are usually about 4 feet tall. And this tree landed right smack on one of them and drove it 2 or 3 feet into the ground. So, who gets to harvest the tree if you're going to? Who gets to fix the marker? So many questions. Right, the trail got subsumed by all the fire break activity right in here, so we had to be careful to find our way around. And this is the trail, so we're going to pick it up over here. This is where the fire made it to, and they didn't make it past this road. See it real good right here. This is hurricane cleanup, clearing the trail. And that's fire break. That's more hurricane damage over there on the hill. So we passed campsite number 1, which we're not heading towards, but it doesn't exist. It's wiped off the map from the fire road. So I mean, there may be a place to camp around there, but the campsite's gone. In this section we're in, yeah, all the trees are definitely dead. They haven't leafed out like in other sections. So yeah, this will be a bare hillside. So Mr. Brown said if he's a bad person and goes to hell, he'll be hiking steep uphill on a hillside just like this. My eternal hell is a Disney cruise. This looks to be all that remains of campsite number 2. The fire rings left, but everything else is torn up. Looks like you can camp here. There's a flat spot here, a couple of tents that's relatively undisturbed, and I mean, there's flat spots on that road over there, and then we're gonna go down there and try to find the water. I just want to thank the city of Greenville for this wonderful water. We appreciate it. All right, we're moving on. There's still fire on the right. This is the path. This is where it's been. And it was stopped there. No sign of fire on the left. So we got, there's 6 miles to a campsite, but we're thinking about just doing the 10 miles to the finish. So we'll just see how we feel. It's 3 o'clock now. Well, we're back into the fire zone. There's some bare rock here, and it looks like the flames just whipped right up it's steep up. Ooh, it's looking dark over there. We're at Dole's Mountain Overlook. Beautiful view of the thunderstorms that are hunting us. Got Mr. Brown here. And yeah, you could camp up here if you want to haul the water. There's flat spots up here. Little fire damage, but it looks like these trees have survived. But this would be your view if you camped up here. We think Mount Mitchell is off in the clouds in that direction. Storms are hunting us from both sides now. We're closing in. Must hike faster. This whole trip, I've been pretending to have a knee injury just to keep Mr. Brown in check. I told him my knee's feeling fine, and I have unleashed Mr. Brown, hiking maniac. This looks like more fire break, but it looks to me like they're making a road where there was never a road. Not sure about it, but it's kind of what it looks like. There's a good view brought to you by forest fires. And for a long time, probably at least 5 miles, it's been a road like this. So campsite number 3 is not clear. There's a bunch of blowdowns. I'm not sure if you can shoehorn a tent in there. And then there's some pretty bad blowdowns right there where we just came from on the trail. Good thing we are out of the fire zone for about the last mile. So the last mile before campsite 3 going to the east. We are down to the last 2.5 miles. The road is smooth, the road is clear. For now. Just about half a mile out. Just looking to the south. It's hard to see through the trees, but it is way down there. we made it to the car.
Oh, man.
4 days, 2 half days. So I'm gonna call it 5 days and 84 miles.
That's it.
Yeah, all right.
David, pleasure. Real pleasure, man.
It was a joy. Hey, I'm at home now, so I'm wrapping up the Foothills Trail hike. We hiked 84 miles, so we started it in the west at Oconee State Park, and we hiked most of the Foothills Trail, but we didn't go to the state park, Table Rock State Park. We once we got to Sassafras Mountain, the highest point in South Carolina, we took a different trail, the Ceasars Head trail, and so that added a few extra miles. It was a great trip, and I loved it. I loved it the whole time. People have asked if the trail's passable given the hurricane last fall and the more recent fires. And so, yes, the trail is passable. And the parts that we hiked, which is most of the Foothills Trail, were fine. There was only, maybe 100 yards where there were some blowdowns. There were a few landslides to get across. But the trail has been damaged. So as part of the cleanup, days 3 and 4, it looked like they got heavy equipment in there, and the trail's showing some damage. Hopefully that will heal over time in a couple of years. And then there was some fire damage for about maybe 5 miles of the path we took, the Ceasars Head spur. So there is that, but I didn't think that the fire damage and the hurricane cleanup damage really took away that much from the experience. We had a great time. It was the last week in April and the first few days of May, and it's starting to get warm. We had good weather. It's about I'm a winter hiker, so it's about as late in the season as I would tend to hike something like that in the south. Also, we hiked, it was a good move. We started on a Sunday night. We finished up on a Saturday evening. And because my sense is that on the weekends, this time of year and into the summer, that there's a lot of usage. So it may be hard to get a campsite. So definitely, if you're able to do it during the week, that would be a good idea. In terms of difficulty, lots up and down. I would compare it to maybe the Georgia section of the AT, somewhere in there. So there were some. I think there was a 2,000-foot climb was the biggest climb. That said, it wasn't very rocky. So you did have the inclines, the descents, but not a lot of scrambling over rocks. Not a fairly smooth, well-maintained trail. Also, for most of it, you could pretty much find either a privy with 4 walls or an outhouse. In one case, there was some running water with an indoor bathroom. You can find that pretty much the whole distance of the trail, and they are well maintained. They're clean. They have hand sanitizer, and so yeah, it made it a pretty enjoyable experience, and so I'd recommend it to anybody. And I'm feeling good. I was sore, especially after that last 19-20 mile day, and but a day later, I feel fine and my knee feels good. So yeah, and so I had a great time. I had a great hiking partner, Mr. Brown, and it was just a lovely experience. Y'all take care.